Hello again. It's time for Look and Learn, and as usual, you are highly welcome. We have covered the vowels of English, so this edition will simply draw your attention to what vowels to be wary of as you learn spoken English. Let's see them now. Monophthongs first. The English sound system, vowels to watch. The first one is E. E. Next is A. There was this funny girl in class at Tuniben. She would say the A that has E on his back. That was how she talked about the graphic representation of that sound. Watch me. When I pronounce it, the veins on the sides of my neck pop out because I need muscular activity. That's a tongue twister to get it right. Next one is A. A, we call it the short A. It's among the sounds you have to watch because they are hardly in the language you're coming from into English. Then, of course, the really troublesome one. Remember what we said when we talked about GIRL coming out as girl to the Nigerian who's learning English as a second language. He or she goes to the sound closest to in their language, and that's eh. So girl becomes girl. Don't blame them. It happens. Even the white man would have problems, or in this case, we're talking about the Englishman. They would have problem when they speak our language as well. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just that we are explaining the natural things happening when you translate from Nigerian languages to English, or rather into English. The next sound is It's just a grunt. We call it the upside down E, for want of a better description in the laboratory, phonetics laboratory. And lastly, we have watch my lips, they are loose. And I mentioned that loose lips, isn't difficult for a Hausa speaker because he has that sound, or he or she has that sound already in their language. Remember the name Babangida. Babangida. If you pronounce it properly, it's Babangida, not Babangida. Babangida. No, it's Babangida. And that ba is actually the upside down vowel, V, which comes out as after the b. That's why it's not difficult for somebody from the north to say a word like CUT, cut, to say a word like BUT, but, to say a word like MULL, mal, to mal an idea. Okay? There will surely be sounds conflict here. That's talking about these sounds we have just mentioned between them and their close neighbors in African languages or Nigerian languages. You just have to be careful. In the case of E, the issue here is that African or Nigerian languages hardly have it. We just have E, or E, not E. So when we come across a word like MEAN, mean, we'll just pronounce it as mean. The man is too mean. Don't blame us. That's our closest Nigerian language substitute for the E in English. Another sound we should go gently about pronouncing is A, or A. It needs more muscular effort to produce compared to our own A. Try producing A, or A. The veins on your neck will pop out, as I said earlier. Not so when you produce A in either Igbo or Yoruba or Hausa. Let's try it out in a few words. Man, bat. You would notice that you required more muscular effort to say each of the words when you got to A in them or A in them. But not so when you say Awon, in Yoruba or ada in Igbo. Each of them just comes out with a rather easy a, unlike the English a in man and that. Now let me tell you a funny story before I leave. When you hear a Nigerian presenter say, "Hey man," when they are actually referring to one person, make no mistakes about it. It is still that interference bug at work. What the presenter would be mimicking is what the Americans pronounce as "hey man," "hey man," but the American "ah" is difficult for the presenter. And it's actually an unknown vowel sound in man to the Nigerian. They end up with "hey man," and yet they are referring to one man. No, it should be "hey man" and not "hey man." Okay? Look, we've run out of time. See you around. So, bye now.